Hi everybody, I'm Ritzgar.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Chris, and we're at Pluto, or Mars, planet, game. Look, this was Space Age at the time.
Mars planet game.
Yep, we are playing Doom 3, and assuming we're going to start from the beginning, that means that by the end of this week we should have gotten almost to the point where we have a gun.
I've done this enough times. I'm good.
It's kind of interesting because, they're clearly going for the Half-Life thing where you see a facility and it builds tension and you get to understand it, and then it feels, more gripping and scary when everything goes to hell. But the problem is, this is Doom, and that's actually just a general problem with the design a little bit.
It's always struck me as really weird what they did with Doom. Because the first two games were, I mean, this is something that everyone knows, so I guess I'm just repeating popular opinion, but the first two games were, like, decidedly not serious at all about anything, and they've tried to make this more like Aliens now.
Doom does not feel like real environments of any kind. Doom is a bunch of corridors with pits of acid because lol.
And then you go to hell and you fight demons and it's cool. It's fun.
This game actually tries very hard to feel like it's real spaces. And like there's emails and PDAs, and it's actually, they do a pretty competent job. And take it as its own game, this isn't bad. It's just really not what people were expecting going in.
I do like the fake out here where they're showing off their fancy new dynamic generated texture things. Like you think you're watching a cutscene, but it pulls away because you're really looking at an actual monitoring game.
Yeah, that was actually surprisingly like kind of a twist back then.
Well, yeah, I mean this game was made for two reasons. One, because they wanted to make money with Doom, and two, because they wanted to show off their new engine.
So, I guess the actual problem with this compared to Half-Life's approach in having this long beginning is that in Half-Life it's like there's a long beginning where there's a bunch of human beings and then most of them die, but like you stumble on scientists and soldiers dying all the time or alive or need your help, and there's sort of a seamless transition between civilization and chaos where people are trying to stay alive. Whereas in this game, everyone just fucking dies, and you never see another living human being again.
Of a slice of life. Oh, I'm an employee at this government facility, and I'm going to work. Well, I mean, it's not in the term of you have an apartment and you're hanging out with your friends and feeling sorry for yourself on Friday night, but kind of like what we're doing right now. but it was a lot more like you're not
Welcome to Mars.
That important right now. You're just some dude and you're going to work and then something terrible happens and you don't necessarily really know what's going on. The game's not concerned with cinematically describing what's going on with the big picture people.
Is it in game options? No, it's not in game options.
I don't think this game has. So this game is old enough that it's running in a 4:3 resolution, and I'm sure we could have hacked the game to run in a real modern resolution, but I don't think this game. Oh, maybe it's under advanced options.
Click video.
No.
Wait, no. Try clicking video settings. Or is that just the highlight?
This is
tab we're on. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think there are.
Well, I'm stumped. Controls?
Huh.
I don't know.
Welcome to Mars, Marine.
I'm gonna do a Josh here, but it's to prove a point.
This will only take a second.
What?
Okay, let me get this.
I do a lot of things. What does it mean to do a Josh in this particular?
down only makes the test take longer.
Okay.
Bioscan looks good. You're cleared for entry.
For the record,
So
that
if you
takes the
don't
same
know
amount
We're
of
gonna
time
need
no
to
matter
hold
what.
still, but okay.
We're gonna need to hold still, but actually I don't really care that much. Fuck it. Like, I, as a game, don't care that much. It's not important. Just go to the next area and don't hurt yourself.
Thanks. Please report to Central Administration.
Goal number 1 at the UAC.
So if
This game
you've
kind of does
never,
the Half-Life thing, but
if you've never seen this game before, or if you never played this game, or if you don't know much about it, look at this and try to guess how many years old this is.
includes restricting your movement to areas for which you have clearance.
Do you have a number? Okay, the answer is, as of this recording in 2015, this game is about 11 years old.
Time? You can just leave
Holy
your bag
crap.
there. I'll have it sent up your
It looks shockingly good.
Okay, there's a few things you
Yeah,
need to take
yeah.
care of first. This is your personal data
Like, all the
system.
models are really low res, and all the textures are really low res because of memory constraints at the time, but the actual tech is really solid.
Download directly. It's
and the
important.
animations are really
So
good
don't
for
lose it.
what 2004 game.
I see here that Sergeant Kelly has requested your immediate attention. Head directly.
Yeah, it's a
to the
combination of the
command.
animations and the
Just that way.
shadows.
Follow the signs.
Like, the shadows might not be realistic, but they're solid. Like, they don't look janky at all.
Mars City is a smoke-free
Yeah.
facility. Please smoke only in designated areas.
Wait, this game
Plus, I
this game
mean-
is so old that they actually have to warn you about smoking on Mars. Like, I don't think any astronauts would be allowed to smoke right now, and
doing here?
No, but I've been authorized.
Well-
So this guy's a big exception. This guy looks like garbage. He's always looked like garbage, actually.
The board doesn't know the first thing about
Betruger
science.
or the
All
other
they
guy?
want is something to
No,
make them more
Spaldy
money.
sunglasses.
Some
Betruger looks pretty good.
product. Don't worry. They'll get
I
their
love that he's named
product.
Betruger. Like, that's such a 1980s villain name.
Betruger. Why are so many workers spooked, complaining, requesting?
Malcolm
But, like, this is kind of what I'm
Betruger.
talking about, where
They
it
simply
kind
can't
of wants to
handle
have its
life
cake and
here.
eat it
They're
too.
exhausted and overworked.
Which is a really
If I
dumb
had a
expression that I've
larger,
never
more
understood,
competent staff
incidentally.
and a bigger budget,
But
even these few accidents
like it
could
wants
be
to do
avoided.
the like, oh, you're
I'm
just
afraid
a
you'll get
marine
nothing
that's
more
going to
until
work,
my
but then it
report
also
is
like
filed with the board.
does
We'll need
this
full access, Dr.
cinematic
Betruger,
cutscene
Delta
stuff
I
that
won't
looks
have any
kind of
difficulties doing that,
weird.
will I?
Only if you get lost.
Well, also, like, let's examine that concept. What is a space marine doing on a Mars base that doesn't have a civilian population other than the
Let's
scientists?
go.
Making sure the scientists don't fucking murder each other, obviously. It's Mars. People are gonna go crazy. No, there's all sorts of shit they need. Starting with competent psychiatrists, and then competent psychiatrists to take care of this other psychiatrists. No, that's like a legit thing that they would need.
Yay, mirrors!
Working mirrors.
By the way,
Also,
so there's no subtitles, so let me recap that conversation for you guys. The board is disappointed by your lack of progress into the science evil thing.
cheeseburger. Cheeseburger in Mars.
Eat it.
Dice.
Eat it.
Oh, okay, Chris, you need to get some Super Turbo Turkey Puncher in here. Yeah. You don't even want to know what my high score in this game is.
I think it would have been even more funny if they'd just done the like Wolfenstein the New Order thing and put Doom in Doom 3. That maybe was a little bit beyond their tech at the time, but
Yeah, I actually think that would have been too audacious. That fucking looping music, man. That'll get stuck in your head if you aren't careful. I'm not even kidding. So yeah, look how much
I
work
love
they're
that.
putting into making this feel like a real and incredibly depressing place. Like, this place is spooky and nasty even before shit goes wrong.
yeah.
The probe is set to resume its
Reminds me of my
outer
apartment.
mission next week.
But there's no internet here either.
That's good. Is that what they're calling him now?
So, tell me, just what
Isn't one of these guys Steve Blum?
over there beats me, man.
No, not one of these guys.
Yeah, a rule of thumb in this game is if it's not Satan or Asian, it's Steve Blum.
Dr. Braddock, please report to Environment
rule of thumb in
Management
most
Office
games.
4 Alpha.
I actually, you know what else kind of blew my mind is that this guy pointed the way you need to go. Like, it was such a little casual detail.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually, even now, that's kind of unusual that they just budge out the resources for that.
Here's the situation. Another member of the science team's gone missing.
I mean, like,
If you're the ranking
Call of
FNG,
Duty will do
you'll
it,
get to
but...
find him. I want you to check
Yeah.
out the old decommissioned comm facility.
But it's just,
But
like,
then
it wasn't
it'll
an
be the only
exaggerated
direction you
movement
could
like it would be in
possibly
Call of
go.
Duty.
Under Mars City.
And there'll be a great big
Program
arrow
the sentry
pointing
guide
to,
you
like, the
maintenance
door.
elevator. Hope you follow the sentry better than you
It's just something like, you know, it wasn't a discrete animation. Like in Call of Duty, it would be that there'd be like a point animation that they reuse 3 or 4 times that just like breaks the
Yeah.
flow of whatever they're doing. They just have this dude who's standing there, and then he just lifts his arm. Like it's a really subtle, neat thing. Oh, this thing, like for some reason, this thing kind of wigged me out where I didn't trust it. I don't remember why. It was 11 years ago. I was a teenager.
I've never actually played through this game. I mean, I've seen the intro a couple times. And I watched someone
It's
else
not a bad game.
play it. Like, I was in the room hanging out with my cousin who was playing it at one point.
It's
I've
not
never
a Doom
played it
game, but it's
myself.
not a bad game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a... If it didn't have the Doom name, honestly, it would be kind of a forgotten survival horror first-person shooter. They would have a small but devoted fan base.
Sort of like
I
what happened
wonder
to
if it
Fear.
would have actually been more popular if it hadn't had the baggage of people expecting Doom and not getting Doom. If
I
had
think
just
it would have
like
been better
an in-text
liked.
shooter that was not. Yeah, maybe it would have been better liked, but like not necessarily as well remembered.
I mean, the tech and the gameplay actually did impress people back then. It's just that, you know, it was well reviewed. I think it was fairly well liked. It's just that, you know,
Yeah.
history hasn't been kind to it because it was seen as a betrayal of the franchise. And people gradually started to realize that besides Serious Sam and Painkiller, nobody else was going to be doing that stuff anymore.
Most unexciting place on Mars.
I love the subtle warping that this mirror or that the glass gives him.
That is Stephen Blum, by the way.
Okay, grab your
Yeah.
Josh, I'm not kidding. Stephen Blum is almost everyone on Mars.
Stephen Blum is
He's
everyone on
almost
Mars is
everyone
now
in
the
real
episode
life.
title.
Mars Sec radio check. Excellent. Good signal.
And Stephen Blum as Mars.
Just follow the main passage through the underground junction and straight out. You'll have a quick evac. And what better way to see the Martian surface than to run across it?
Yeah, you would die.
Okay, you're all set.
Okay, one thing that differentiates this game from new first-person shooters in this model, shoot that guy.
Oh, haven't seen
Yeah.
Does that have any
Oh, and now,
consequences?
do you have a flashlight yet?
Where do I go?
So go smack that guy with your flashlight like a dozen times. Trust me. So, not only can you kill everyone on your way to the objective, but you can also clean up the evidence. And the best part is, they were going to get killed by aliens anyway.
It's
I love the lighting
basically
model.
morally neutral.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
basi-
that's what I was talking about. Like, this is almost more of an engine showcase game.
Well, yeah, but like it's also stylized because the shadows are all so hard. Like games these days typically
Yeah.
avoid looking like this, and it almost becomes an aesthetic into itself that you've got all these super hard shadows. It feels, I mean, it suits the haunted house vibe really well. And I think Rudskarn's right. If it wasn't a Doom game,
wait, hang on. Did you just pass those guys who were working on something?
I'll go listen to them die.
No, don't listen to them die. They don't die, but kill that guy.
But this game is turning you into me.
Buddy, I don't know if I can really help you.
Yeah, seriously, just murder that guy somehow. It doesn't matter how.
Hey, what the hell's going on up there?
They actually recorded
Steve
that
Blum is
dialogue.
confused.
That's how much they didn't give a fuck. They turned this into a Mars serial killer simulator. Gives me an idea for a story. There's like a serial killer who gets a time machine, but he just uses it to go to like, cause he can't alter the past with it, so he just uses it to go to like great tragedies where lots of people die, and he shows there early, murders everyone, And he's like, well, they're gonna die in 5 seconds anyway. It's a wash.
Should I shoot this guy too?
That's up to you. Nothing funny
No,
happens.
you're my Jiminy Cricket. You are the moral compass that I am going.
I actually
leaving him.
think he
Someone
doesn't
made a
drop.
mistake.
He doesn't drop ammo later or something. I don't know. I seem to remember that like there was some interesting consequence from killing.
Wait a
some of
minute,
these
you're
people.
outside, but your hand is still uncovered.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's what I said. You're gonna
It's
die.
fine. You're also not wearing a helmet, despite what the game implies.
Is that the way you're supposed to do that? Did you miss the helmet at some point?
It's a Half-Life thing. It's like the game just sort of just hopes you don't notice.
Yeah, but the game didn't kill Gordon Freeman after 5 seconds for being in Zen without a helmet. The game was killing you out there.
Huh? No, no, please. You must let me get this communication out. They have to be warned while there is still time. I can't let... I
also like how you're pointing a pistol at this motherfucker.
Understand or comprehend. The devil is real.
I remember this scene.
I built his cage.